at neoshowars.net today.
Coming up, workers at Mercy Hospital Carthage meet with the Board of Education providing an update on the local fight against the coronavirus and how the Joplin Public Library uses coronavirus funds to help residents connect. Also, a Missouri judge says the legislature must move forward with the voter-approved Medicaid expansion.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good Wednesday morning. Welcome to the KOAM Morning News, where we find ourselves at 5 o'clock. I'm Michael Hayslip. Heat advisory still in effect and another scorcher coming our way for this afternoon as we start with a live look over 7th and Rangeline in Joplin. It is warm. It is already breezy. 79 degrees is where we stand, coming in from the south-southwest at 14 miles per hour as we progress through our temperatures anywhere from high 70s, couple of 80s on the board. Welch looks like our warm spot at 81. 78 in both Miami and Neosho. Midwest looking pretty clear as everything has moved off to our northwest. As far as what we're looking at for our heat advisory, hasn't budged. Same time frame running up until tomorrow at 8 p.m. So remember, it's going to feel about like 105 to 107 this afternoon, and we need to take those precautions when we're outside as the warm front is slowly pushing its way across the Midwest and headed toward the Northeast. Just wait till the weekend comes. They're going to be the ones baking with record heat by the time we get to Saturday and Sunday, and we'll be sitting easy because we've paid our debt to the heat here this week. Up around actual temperature, 95, 96 degrees later on this afternoon, and future track keeps us on the dry side. If you see any raindrops, be a quick little pop-up right there into Thursday morning up to the northwest. It's a 7-day forecast that has alerts days on 2 of the panels left, and then Friday is not looking too bad at all. 91 degrees. Head into the weekend there in the high 80s, and actually starting next week in the high 80s as well. The board from Mercy Carthage met with the Carthage School Board Tuesday night to discuss the state of COVID in the area and its impact on the local healthcare system. The meeting was informational only, no action taken on any issue. Scott Watson, president of Mercy Carthage, discussed the strain on the local healthcare system caused by COVID and how some essential services are being pushed to their limit. Carthage Superintendent Dr. Mark Baker says the next step is to put the information together and decide what's best for students.
Over the next few days, I'll make some decisions regarding what my recommendation will be. I'll look at this data, I'll also put a survey out to our community to hear what their opinions are. And bottom line, it's going to come down to next Monday night what my recommendation is to the board. There are other things besides masking involved in this, but obviously that's the most controversial right now.
Next board meeting is scheduled for Monday the 16th, and at that time the board will make a decision on whether or not masks will be mandatory or voluntary. Some area districts have decided to recommend masking in schools instead of making it a requirement. In Carl Junction, the district says it will continue its other safety procedures like enhanced cleaning, social distancing when possible, and making sure kids follow proper hygiene. Jasper County Health Department hopes that most parents will decide to have their kids wear masks despite whether or not masks are required. We have the policies for several other districts in this story on our website. Go to KOAMnewsnow.com. In Parsons, Kansas, the school district, at the recommendation of the Labette County Health Department, is requiring masks for the 2022 school year. Students, staff, and visitors are going to be required to wear masks in buildings and buses, regardless of vaccination status. If students and staff are exposed to COVID but are properly masked and show no symptoms, they will be able to stay in school without quarantining. The mask mandate will be reevaluated every regularly scheduled board meeting starting in September. A Missouri judge says the state can no longer deny Medicaid health care to thousands more newly eligible adults. In Cole County, Judge John Beatum issued the order on Tuesday. Now, Missouri voters in 2020 approved the constitutional amendment making more low-income adults eligible for the government health care program. But Governor Mike Parson refused to implement the amendment after the GOP-led legislature did not provide any funding. So it remains unclear how the state will pay for health care for the newly eligible recipients. The legislator may have to hold a special session to set aside more money for Medicaid. City of Fort Scott, Kansas has brought in an outside law firm to take on a couple of streaming giants. The city has entered an agreement with law firm Kapke Willerth to sue Netflix and Hulu. The city alleges the companies have failed to pay franchise fees. Now, franchise fees are 5% of a company's revenue collected from an area. It's a fee normally paid by cable companies that rely on the public right-of-way to deliver services to customers. And though companies like Netflix and Hulu are not operating in any public right-of-way, the lawsuit alleges that because they utilize internet service providers that are in that right-of-way, that Netflix and Hulu should be subject to the same fees. This is the first lawsuit filed against Netflix and Hulu in Kansas, but similar suits have been filed in other states, including Missouri. Wholesale company Sysco has been dealing with supply and delivery problems. Sysco distributes food products and equipment, including to some 4 state area businesses. Sysco put out a statement on the issue saying in part, quote, "We have had to delay or pause service for a limited number of customers in various locations, including those in Joplin. This is mainly due to unprecedented labor shortages in the industry," end quote. Sysco went on to say it expects it to be a temporary situation. Joplin Public Library is making it easier for anyone in the community to access the internet. Last year, library acquired 100 mobile hotspots through the CARES Act. Library says when it was closed last year, it did see that many people in the community lost digital access. Library now hoping this service can bridge the digital divide.
And it's evident from the demand that there are a lot of individuals who are seeking digital access where there's really a divide between those individuals who do not have internet access.
Joplin Public Library members can check out a hotspot by going to the library, or you can hold a place online. A Pittsburgh-based dance company recently became regional champions. Pittsburgh Parks and Recreation Department Dance Company offers boys and girls classes in several forms of dance, including tap, ballet, and hip hop. They recently competed in the Next Star Dance competition held in Pittsburgh, took home the award of Teen Regional Champion.
An amazing gift. You get to see them grow every single week, and when they go to competitions and you see them succeed and become regional championships, it's just the best feeling in the whole entire world. You can see it on their faces and you can see it in their performances, and it's just, there are no words to describe how special that is.
3 of the company's 12 routines were awarded golden tickets. That means you get an invitation to the national competition in New York City. Rolling up on 5:07, take a look at our weather trend for today. Another scorcher, going to be up into the mid-90s and tack on about 10 to 11 degrees on the temperature as far as what it'll feel like this afternoon. We knew we had that heat advisory that's going to linger for one more day. As we get into Wednesday night / Thursday morning, top left-hand portion of your screen, we see a little rain develop there right along I-70. Tries to make a little southerly push, not certainly going to be any type of widespread rain for us. But that's about the extent of our precipitation, with that 10% and 20% for the next 2 days. Now, our temperatures begin to drop there on Friday, and our rain chances also begin to increase. So we have a little light at the end of the tunnel here if we can just stay safe in the sun on Wednesday and Thursday. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOM Morning News, an overwhelmed healthcare system.
Hospital beds are in short supply in COVID hotspots as the Delta variant continues to spread rapidly. I'm Jonathan Seri in Atlanta. I'll have details coming up.
Joplin Eagles hit the field for practice number 2. We're going to hear from the head coach on how the team aims to get back to the top of the COC this fall. And today is National Sons and Daughters Day. For our Something to Talk About, asking how many kids you have in your household. You're watching the KOM Morning News. We'll have more real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
At Metro Appliances and More, we know you're spending more time in your kitchen than ever before. That's why we have the largest selection of gas and electric ranges, range tops, cooktops, wall ovens, and microwaves. Visit our showroom and let one of our appliance experts show you the best products to help with meal preparation in your home. With our free local delivery, 12-month no-interest financing, and our 30-day low price guarantee, why shop anywhere else? Metro Appliances and More, the right price on the right product right now.
Brahms is bringing the heat. Introducing Brahms' new spicy chicken sandwiches. Flavor this good just can't be beat. Brahms' crispy, tender, spicy chicken delivers just enough kick to ramp up our original recipe. Get it regular or club style with crispy bacon and American cheese. Add on Brahms sauce for that extra burst of heat, and you have spicy chicken sandwich perfection. Because nothing is better than Brahms.
More is better. Buffalo Run Casino and Resort.
VFW Post 5293 and the Community Blood Center of the Ozarks present Blood and Steel on Route 66 Car Show and Blood Drive. Sponsored by Frank Fletcher Toyota. The Blood Drive is August 9th through the 13th at the CBCO Joplin Donor Center at North Park Mall. Free t-shirt for all donors. The Motorcycle Poker Run and Car Show is Saturday, August 14th at the Joplin Athletic Complex. Open to everyone. Call to pre-register or to see how you can support local veteran programs.
Is the vaccine safe? Can my children get it? Can I still get pregnant? Will it protect me from the new variants of COVID? Those are good questions. Make a plan to get answers. Talk to a trusted healthcare provider or visit getvaccineanswers.org. Once you get your answers, you'll learn why the free vaccine is the safest choice for you. Make a plan, get your answers, make the safe choice.
We're in the midst of our first week of fall practice for Missouri high school sports. And for Carthage football, yesterday was practice number 2. Our own Danny Terzer with more on how the Tigers plan to stay rolling when the action starts this fall.
Carthage is going to look a bit different this year. There's big shoes to fill, but the Tigers are ready to step up.
If character means anything, then we're going to be very successful because we have some really, really good high character kids, coachable kids, kids who want to be here and work hard. So we're really excited about that.
Kaden Kabanz is the new guy under center.
He's not a stranger to varsity football. He started since he was a sophomore, but he's a stranger to playing varsity quarterback. And so there's going to be a lot on his shoulders, but Caden's a very capable, very smart, very football savvy kid that I think is going to have a very good year.
Kaden knows what he has to step up to. He knows that he has some pretty big shoes to fill, and I think he can do it. Everybody loves Kaden. He plays for all of us, and he's a hard worker, and we all believe in him. I feel like everybody that's on this team knows that you're not playing for yourself, you're playing for your brothers.
The Tigers are hungry for a longer season this year, and confidence is high.
We know we have the strength at every position, we have the skill at every position. Like, we know that we have what we need to get back to the state championship.
You know, every game we never play down to our opponent, no matter who we're playing. You know, it's always a very high level motor going. Even if it's, Webb City, Neosho, whoever we're going against, it's 100%, and we're not playing down to anybody else.
Everybody in our district, they're just hard runners, hard hitting, and that's just what Missouri football is, and that's what we are, and we've perfected it.
In Carthage, Danny Terzer, KOAM Sports.
Carthage kicks off the season August the 27th and will do so on the road against Ozark. Joplin Eagles also on the field for practice number 2. Joplin went 6-5 last season. The Eagles did lose a lot of talented players due to graduation, sending 8 players onto the college game this year. Still have some experience though. 27 seniors on the roster, highlighted by a solid group of linemen on both sides of the ball. And returning starting quarterback, always right.
Obviously, we have a different, offensive coordinator, but the thing I like about Always is his football IQ is really high. So, even though we have some changes this year, he's picked him up real quick and knows where he needs to go with the ball when he needs to go there and how to get people in the right positions.
The trench model's huge this year. D-line, O-line together, including the tight ends. So, yeah, it all starts up front.
We return Joe Jasper and Donovan Watkins. and Gunnar Price on a defensive line, so that's 3 of our 4 defensive linemen there. We have 3 guys on the offensive line returning with experience, and as a line guy, I feel like it always starts up front.
We got Dandy coming out of the box here as Joplin's going to open the season August 27th on the road against the Webb City Cardinals. Major League Baseball last night, Cardinals on the road against the Pirates. Cards close it out, win it 4-1. Tommy Edman, 1 for 4 on the night. That lone hit just happened to be a solo home run. In the American League, Royals trying to evidently do everybody a favor and beat the Yankees. And they get it done. They double them up, 8-4, as Salvador Perez have a night, 3 for 4. How about 2 home runs, 3 RBIs? Still to come on the KOM Morning News, Border Patrol agents are intercepting migrants who've crossed the Rio Grande every day.
The Biden administration addresses the growing surge of migrants at the border. I'm Jonathan Hunt in Mission, Texas, with more on the latest numbers from Customs and Border Protection coming up.
And to check on our 7-day forecast when the KOM Morning News returns.
Lander Chevrolet of Joplin is your official We Buy Cars headquarters. Used cars are in high demand and we're buying. Just come into Lander Chevrolet of Joplin and in as little as 15 minutes you'll have an offer in your hand. We handle all the paperwork and pay you on the spot, even if you don't buy from us. Your car could be worth more than you think. Fast, simple, and safe. Visit LandersBuysCars.com and get money for your car today.
At Hertzberg Furniture, right off the square in Nevada, we have a great selection of Tempur-Pedic mattresses and matching pillows. A good night's sleep is priceless. Come like us on Facebook and experience the difference.
Fred and Red's dining room is open. Fred and Red's has served up its famous tamales, chili, and spaghetti bread for nearly a century. Come dine in with us or call ahead for curbside delivery or convenient drive-through window. Our new family packs start at only $18.95. Since 1923, Fred and Red's.
Ron Supermarket prides itself in providing outstanding and personable customer service, along with weekly savings like these. Boneless pork sirloin chops, $2.29 a pound. Assorted seedless grapes, $1.49 a pound. USDA top sirloin steak, $5.99 per pound. And Best Choice cereal, 2 for $3.
Our focus continues to be on you, our customer.
From stocking requested items to providing friendly cashiers, carrying groceries to car, and even offering a pickup and home delivery service.
Thank you for supporting Ron's Supermarket.
There's so much room for advancement. They take care of their employees.
This guy is like my second family.
I actually love it. I've just soaked as much in it as I can, and I really, really like it.
We get along. We eat lunch together every day. We talk to each other on the weekends.
With this opportunity, I just bought my first house, and I didn't really think I was going to be able to accomplish that. So it's pretty cool.
Visit Crossland.com/hiring to view open.
A party venue opened as the virus raged.
How many people were at your party? 20? A group of adults and children all together. For what? During a pandemic.
Judge Judy.
Weekdays at 4 on KOAM TV.
After an accident, Aaron Sachs & Associates is here for you 24/7. And we want to remind you that now you need to use 10 digits when calling. Need legal help? Call 417-ALL-7s. That's 417-777-7777.
1 day left to get your tickets for Sam Hunt this Thursday night at Downstream Casino Resort.
Time for weather on the 7s, coming off of a August the 10th yesterday. Hottest day of 2021. Made it up to 97 degrees at Joplin Regional Airport. Had a couple 96s pop up there in July, the late July wave. But yeah, first 97 of the year was yesterday. 79 is where we sit in Joplin right now. Already got a difference on the temperature to the heat index, feeling about like 82 and still breezy, coming in 14 miles per hour in Joplin. Let's roll 79 in Parsons, 76 in Mount Vernon, 78 right now in Commerce. Here's an idea about that wind. By the way, that was heat index that we just showed. If you want to talk about normal temperatures, we got a couple 80s out there. We actually don't have as many 80s on the board right now as what we did at this point in time yesterday, but inconsequential because our temperatures going to be right back where they were yesterday, and that's why the heat advisory lasts for 2 more days up until Thursday evening. And you can tell the expansion of the heat advisories there in the orange and some of that purple. or pink, is really moving to the east. As this heat wave progresses to the east, it is going to be a scorcher on the East Coast this weekend. You know, we do a little bit better in this heat than what they do. All the rain stays up to the north of us. Once again, a second consecutive day that's rolled through Kansas City. But even if you have to take a trip up to KC, you're not going to run into any of it. That severe thunderstorm risk map shows it kind of pushes off to the northeast right there. But that's very similar in nature to what we saw yesterday. That's almost back-to-back days of it headed toward the Great Lakes. There's your dividing line here, and as everything moves off to the east, not seeing a whole lot of morning thunderstorm activity, so we'll take that as a winner. Weather trend for us going to push up into the mid-90s, have a chance for a little overnight rain in the far northwest section of the 4 states, and then we've got 2 more days of the heat before we finally back off, get down into the low 90s and even 80s there for the weekend. Well, today happens to be National Sons and Daughters Day, and that is the subject of our KOM News Now Facebook page and our morning Insta poll. So if you're hanging out with your kids, if you're a parent, I don't know, maybe go for a walk either early in the morning or in the evening. Don't do it during the heat of the day. If you got grown kids, give them a call. Tell them why they're special to you. And remember, if you're not a parent and you're still a son or a daughter, maybe give mom or dad a call. Tell them what's up. Our question for you this morning, how many children do you have? There are 2 ways to connect with us. You can either go to our Facebook page or go straight to the Insta poll, KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. We'll be back with Health Watch next.
Hungry for something hot and juicy? Maybe. Breaded by hand?
Sounds steamy.
Nestled between 2 toasted buns?
Toasty.
The new hand-breaded chicken sandwich. Buy one, get one for just $1. Only at Hardee's.
Feed your happy.
Kansas Crossing Casino welcomes legendary rock and roll drummer and founding member of Guns N' Roses, Steven Adler. Saturday night, September 25th. Bring your appetite for destruction as Adler performs a night of hard rock you won't want to miss. Tickets are available now at kansascrossingcasino.com. Must be 21 years or older. Don't miss Steven Adler of Guns N' Roses at Kansas Crossing Casino. Saturday night, September 25th.
They say when you come from a small town, you grow up a little different. When U.S. Cellular's founder, Roy Carlson, looked at small towns, he saw nothing but potential. Potential that deserved the best technology. Since the other guys were busy with the biggest cities, well, he'd just have to build a network there himself. Here's the thing, when you create a network as a local, you know the dead spots. So you fix them. You know the neighbors, so you're good to them. Did you drop these? You know the local neighborhood, so you make a difference.
Thanks for the hot spot.
When you go town by town, doing it different, you might even win some awards. You might even want to celebrate. But we're still far from done. You know, it's a good thing we started local. Otherwise, we might not be. A little different. The nationwide network built from your town up. U.S. Cellular.
Hungry for something hot and juicy?
Maybe.
Breaded by hand?
Sounds steamy.
Nestled between 2 toasted buns?
Toasty.
The new hand-breaded chicken sandwich. Buy one, get one for just $1. Only at Hardee's.
Feed your happy.
Topping Health Watch this morning, new COVID infections in the U.S. are nearing 100,000 per day. Healthcare systems are starting to buckle. Jonathan Surrey has more from Atlanta.
The numbers are all going in the wrong direction. COVID cases, hospitalizations, and deaths all increasing significantly as this new surge accelerates. And healthcare systems are quickly becoming overwhelmed once again. Almost 50,000 Americans are hospitalized with COVID, a 27% increase in just the last week. Doctors say almost all their COVID patients are unvaccinated, underscoring the need for further outreach.
That is, obviously playing a big contribution to the increasing caseloads, percent positivity, hospitalizations that we're seeing right now.
1 out of every 4 new COVID cases are in Florida, where coronavirus patients are taking up 43% of ICU beds, compared to just 19% nationwide. But Governor Ron DeSantis is still resisting any new containment efforts, including mandating vaccines for state workers or masks for children in school.
It's about trying to vindicate parents' ability to make these decisions.
Despite the surge, travel is picking back up. The TSA says more than 2 million people boarded a plane on Sunday, the second highest number since the pandemic began. And Canada is now allowing Americans to drive across the border with proof of vaccination, raising hopes the U.S. may soon follow.
Everybody else is opening, but we are not. We're kind of exempt. We just can't fully reopen until the border fully reopens.
With hurricane season well underway, President Biden met with FEMA on Tuesday to discuss how the pandemic is impacting preparedness and response. New research links preterm and early term births to a higher risk of autism. A study published in Pediatrics looked at more than 4 million people in Sweden born between the years 1973 and 2013. Autism prevalence was 40% higher in those born preterm and up to 15% higher in those born early term compared to full-term births. Ultra-processed foods now make up 2/3 of the calories consumed by children and teens. That's according to a new JAMA study of nearly 34,000 children. The largest increases in calories come from ready-to-eat or ready-to-heat dishes, including takeout and frozen pizza, burgers, and packaged sweet snacks and desserts. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Now ranging from the high 70s to low 80s. Already a warm start. 79 in both Joplin and Miami. Let's go 80 in Fort Scott and Oswego. And then a pair of 78s in Lamar and Carthage. And we all know that we're under the heated, well, if you didn't know, this will be our third consecutive day. Third out of 4 days that we are under the heat advisory. We've only got 2 days left though, so you know, we're headed in the right direction. And the 7-day forecast will show you that we do have the light at the end of the tunnel. Friday is still going to be in the 90s, but that's not too bad. That's right on par for this time of year, 91. We'd expect that. Kick in a little rain too for Friday night into Saturday morning. Saturday and Sunday in the 80s and opening next week in the high 80s as well. So just be safe for 2 more days. We'll be back right after this.
The John Deere 1023E is the Swiss.
Good morning, I'm Tanya Bonk with your KOAM News Update. Some area districts have decided to recommend masking in schools instead of making it a requirement. Carl Junction School District is one of those districts. The district says they'll continue their other safety procedures like enhanced cleaning, social distancing when possible, and making sure kids follow proper hygiene. The Jasper County Health Department hopes that most parents will decide to have their kids wear masks despite whether masks are required. We have the policies for several other districts in this story on our website. You can find that at KOAMnewsnow.com. A Missouri judge says the state can no longer deny Medicaid health care to thousands more newly eligible adults. Missouri voters in 2020 approved the constitutional amendment making more low-income adults eligible for the government health care program. But Governor Mike Parson refused to implement the amendment after the GOP-led legislature did not provide any funding. It remains unclear how the state will pay for health care for the newly eligible recipients. Here's Michael with today's forecast.
2 more days of heat advisories as we're back into the mid-90s, feeling about like 105 to 107. Good south wind again. 2 more alert days, and then finally some low 90s by the time we get to Friday.
Parenting, breastfeeding, peer counseling, and home visits for pregnant and new moms. Even an employment assistance program called Dress for Success. A host of resources are available to help community members of all ages live healthier lives. To learn more or schedule an appointment, call the Neosho County Health Department today.
Get moving with the Planet Fitness Black Card for 0 enrollment. $22.99 a month and get all the perks like massage chairs and so much more. Join today.
Deal ends August 12th, next to Home Depot. Stop overpaying for auto repair. Come to Carnes Pro Tire just south of Baxter Springs, where we have experienced mechanics and you pay no city sales tax. We also do alignments and we have the lowest prices on tires guaranteed. Carnes Pro Tire can serve all your auto repair needs just south of Baxter.
Coming up, workers at Mercy Hospital Carthage meet with members of the Carthage Board of Education to provide an update on the local fight against the coronavirus. Now, the Joplin Public Library used coronavirus funds to help residents connect. Also, a Missouri judge says the legislature must move forward with the voter-approved Medicaid expansion.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Tanya Bach. We've got another hot day ahead of us with that old heat advisory still in effect. Let's go straight to Michael.
Yesterday, hottest day of the year.
Really?
96, yeah, got up to 97. We had a couple 96s, excuse me, in late July. Yeah, yesterday was our first 97, so that put us a good 6 degrees above average right there. Our record for today goes back to 1999, where it got up to 104 degrees. 79 as we take a live look over a quiet 7th and range line in Joplin. 79 in Miami and Chanute. Throw Nevada in there as well. A little bit more manageable out on the eastern edge of southwest Missouri. Out of 75 in Monette and 76 right now in Cashville. But it doesn't matter where you live. You're going to end up with a heat advisory today. It pretty much encompasses the entire Midwest. A little light cloud cover could provide for a gorgeous sunrise here at about 6:32. Nationally speaking, the jet stream trying to flatten out a little bit. We just need it to keep. We just need that thing to just keep moving off to the east. It can take all that heat, dispatch it on the East Coast for this weekend. They're going to have some record-setting temps out there this weekend. It's going to get it's going to get bad out there. We got to get through 2 more days, and then we get to calm down this weekend. Now, we do have some increased shots for rain from Friday night all the way through Sunday, but at least Friday is normal for this time of year. Saturday and Sunday, high 80s. We'll take it.
All right, and thank you for putting those back down under 90.
I told you yesterday at the noon I was going to go back off.
Yeah, it'll feel about the same.
Well, it's because the wave is progressing to the east at a pretty good speed. They're going to melt this weekend out there. They're going to melt. Philadelphia, Boston, New York, they're going to be triple digits.
It's just going to be hot. All right, thanks, Michael. The board from Mercy Carthage met with the Carthage School Board on Tuesday night to discuss the state of COVID in the area and its impact on the local healthcare system. The meeting was informational only. No action was taken on any issue. Scott Watson, president of Mercy Carthage, discussed the strain on the local healthcare system caused by COVID and how some essential services are being pushed to their limit. Carthage Superintendent Dr. Mark Baker says the next step is to put the information together and decide what's best for students.
Over the next few days, I'll make some decisions regarding what my recommendation will be. I'll look at this data, I'll also put a survey out to our community to hear what their opinions are. And bottom line, it's going to come down to next Monday night what my recommendation is to the board. There are other things besides masking involved in this, but obviously that's the most controversial right now.
The next board meeting is scheduled for Monday the 16th. At that time, the board will make a decision on whether or not masks will be mandatory or voluntary. Area school districts opt to recommend students and teachers wear face masks this year instead of making masks a requirement. KOAM's Zach Dodge has details and what a local health official is recommending.
Require face masks or not? That's a big question school districts have had to navigate.
We have always recommended that's probably the best practice.
The CDC and U.S. Department of Ed say the same, recommending students and staff wear masks, especially indoors. The Missouri Department of Ed has also said the same, but ultimately leaves the decision up to local districts.
We're going to recommend it, we're going to encourage it, but it is not a mandate.
But CJ is encouraging parents to do screenings before coming to school and keeping their kids home if they're sick.
Powell also explains they'll have seating in classrooms set up in such a way that students can social distance as much as possible, and make sure students follow good hygiene practices like washing their hands or using hand sanitizer.
We have multiple layers within our safety procedures. We're not relying just upon one thing.
Diamond is another district planning to make it a recommendation instead of a mandate, with Superintendent Keith White saying they continue to monitor the situation, but the majority of the community doesn't want mask requirements.
Taking one of those tools away, I don't think completely throws everything out, but it certainly doesn't help in the equation that much. So I just hope that while it's not mandatory, that parents will choose to try and have their children masked to try and keep them in school.
We have some of the highest rates of COVID in our area, and even over the weekend there were 18 people who died from COVID in the local hospitals. So how confident do you guys feel?
We're absolutely confident in our ability to consider the situation and to make decisions that we feel like are in the best interest for our staff and our students.
In Jasper County, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
As of right now, Carthage, Joplin, and Webb City are also only recommending masks be worn, but that could change as all of them have meetings coming up in the coming days. Diamond and Carl Junction both plan to monitor the situation and adjust requirements as the year goes on. A Missouri judge says the state can no longer deny Medicaid health care to thousands more newly eligible adults. Cole County Judge John Beadham issued the order on Tuesday. Missouri voters in 2020 approved the constitutional amendment making more low-income adults eligible for the government health care program. But Governor Mike Parson refused to implement the amendment after the GOP-led legislature did not provide any funding. It remains unclear how the state will pay for health care for the newly eligible recipients. The legislature may have to hold a special session to set aside more money for Medicaid. Joplin Public Library is making it easier for anyone in the community to access the internet. Last year, the library acquired 100 mobile hotspots through the CARES Act. They say when the library was closed last year, they saw that many people in the community lost digital access. And the library hopes this service can bridge this digital divide.
It's evident from the demand that there are a lot of individuals who are seeking digital access where there's really a divide between those individuals who do not have internet access.
Joplin Public Library members can check out a hotspot by going to the library or place a hold online. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. It's Wildcat Wednesday, and we discuss food waste and preservation. Plus, hundreds of migrants stream into South Texas even as the Biden administration insists the border is closed. We'll have details, but first, it's 5:37.
Advisories lasting through Thursday with a south wind for today, 15 to 20 miles per hour. Going to end up in the mid-90s overnight, mostly clear skies. Southerly gusts, though, 20 miles per hour. 2 more days on the old alert day panels before we finally back off and head into a much more manageable weekend. Be back with World Watch next.
Here at DDS Dentures and Implant Solutions of Grove, our philosophy is delight.
Good Wednesday morning. Michael Hayslip with you in the Skywatch Weather Center. We've got 2 more days of heat advisories as we'll be back up into the mid-90s today. South wind 15 to 20 miles per hour, and as we push into tonight and the final day of our heat advisory on Thursday, mostly clear skies, but the south gusts of 20 miles per hour, those do stick around. After we get through Thursday, a much more manageable weekend with temperatures in the low 90s and high 80s.
Outpost Casino, where our guests matter. Highway 1010C on the Oklahoma-Missouri border. For promotions, go to outpostcasino.com.
At Metro Appliances and More, we know you're spending more time in your kitchen than ever before. That's why we have the largest selection of gas and electric ranges, range tops, cooktops, wall ovens, and microwaves. Visit our showroom and let one of our appliance experts show you the best products to help with meal preparation in your home. With our free local delivery, 12-month no-interest financing, and our 30-day low-price guarantee, why shop anywhere else? Metro Appliances and More, the right price on the right product right now.
Brahms is bringing the heat. Introducing Brahms new spicy chicken sandwiches.
Flavor this good just can't be beat. Braum's crispy, tender, spicy chicken delivers just enough kick to ramp up our original recipe. Get it regular or club style with crispy bacon and American cheese. Add on Braum's sauce for that extra burst of heat, and you have spicy chicken sandwich perfection, because nothing is better than Braum's.
Closed captioning on KOAM TV is sponsored by Aaron Sachs & Associates, proud partner of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Topping World Watch, hundreds of migrants are streaming into South Texas, even as the Biden administration insists the border is closed. And one of its top officials prepares a visit for Thursday. Jonathan Hunt is in Mission, Texas, with more.
Almost every minute of every day, Border Patrol agents are intercepting migrants who cross the Rio Grande. Some hide in small groups, hoping, and in this case failing, to outwit the agents. Others come in large groups. This one last night, a startling sight, several hundred strong. Their goal not to evade Border Patrol agents, but to get picked up, processed, and hope for asylum. It is a constant flow, and the White House is also being pushed by Mexico to remove pandemic-related travel restrictions and fully open regular border crossings. That could potentially attract more migrants to those facilities, just as the Biden administration says it is adopting new measures to try to ameliorate the crisis, such as expulsion flights deeper into the Mexican interior and renewed attempts to avoid overcrowding at holding facilities here.
It's a newer step that we have started to take, which is moving migrants from one part of the border to another where there might be more processing capability or facility capacity to expel migrants.
So far, whatever the administration has tried has not worked. The number of migrant apprehensions has shot up rather than headed down, so much so that the 210,000 apprehensions in July represent a five-fold increase over the same month in 2020. It is against that backdrop that Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas will travel to South Texas on Thursday and, the DHS says, meet with those working the front lines. If the Secretary speaks with any of the many Border Patrol agents who have spoken with us off camera here, and if they are as candid with him as they have been with us, he is likely to hear stories of frustration, exhaustion, even outright anger that more is not being done to stem the still rising tide of migrants crossing this border.
Wildfires continue to grow in Brazil. In the Mato Grosso region, here, crews battle a blaze that began on Saturday, which now has burned over 5,000 acres. The fire is being called the largest in the region so far this season, with dry weather and winds fanning the flames. Many scientists are blaming the wildfire on global warming. One of Jeffrey Epstein's longtime accusers is now suing Britain's Prince Andrew. Virginia Giuffre's lawyers filed the complaint in New York City, claiming she was trafficked to Andrew and abused by him when she was 17 years old. Giuffre said in a statement, quote, "I'm holding Prince Andrew accountable for what he did to me. The powerful and rich are not exempt from being held responsible for their actions," end quote. When CBS News reached out to Prince Andrew's legal team, they said they had no comment. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. Let's toss it over to Michael for our Something to Talk About.
Thank you, Tanya. This morning on the KOAM News Now Facebook page and the Morning Insta Poll, today is National Sons and Daughters Day. And how you mark it? Well, just spend some time with your kiddos. Maybe go and do something outside. Don't do it during the peak heating hours, please. Pick up the phone, call your mom and your dad. Let them know that you appreciate them as well. Our question for you on the Insta poll: how many children do you have? Right now, 0 is the one that's winning, 35%. But remember, even if it's 0, you are somebody's son or daughter at the same point in time. Coming in second is number 2. Got 2 kids. And 13% with 5 or more. All you have to do is go to KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. You can also connect to us and get to the poll through our Facebook page as well. Be back with the news you need to know before you head out the door right after this.
Landers
Lander Chevrolet of Joplin is your official We Buy Cars headquarters. Used cars are in high demand and we're buying. Just come into Lander Chevrolet of Joplin and in as little as 15 minutes you'll have an offer in your hand. We handle all the paperwork and pay you on the spot. Even if you don't buy from us, your car could be worth more than you think. Fast, simple, and safe. Visit LandersBuysCars.com and get money for your car today.
Need to refresh a room in your home? Yep, all of them. Well, during the anniversary sale at Furniture Row, every sofa, dining table, and bed is on sale. Wait, all of them? Follow me. Shop and save on the largest selection of sofas, dining tables, and beds at the lowest prices guaranteed. Plus, save $100 on Denver Mattress brand mattresses with 5 years no interest and free shipping. I think we're gonna need a bigger truck. The anniversary sale on now at Furniture Row.
Whether your customers rely on you to make their day or your threads to make an impression, you can rely on Suddenlink Business Secure Internet with 100 meg speed to keep your business going. It's internet with built-in security for only $84.95 a month for 1 year. It keeps you connected and protected as your customers rely on you to bring them the meals, the wheels, or whatever they love about your business. Stuck in a contract? We'll buy you out. We'll even give you a $100 Visa prepaid card. You can rely on us to help your business grow. Call or visit suddenlinkbusiness.com today.
Backcraft in Baxter Springs is now hiring. Work in a climate-controlled environment and earn up to $1,000 in bonuses your very first year. Apply online at novalex.com/careers or come in for open interviews every Tuesday from 9 to 4.
At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, one call is all it takes to have an appointment in as little as 24 hours and meet with a team of cancer experts, all in one location, specializing in complex and advanced stage cancer. Call now.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is stepping down after an investigation into sexual harassment complaints against him. The resignation will take effect 2 weeks from now on August 24th. Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul will serve out the rest of Cuomo's third term, which runs through the year 2022. The board from Mercy Carthage met with Carthage School Board Tuesday night to discuss the state of COVID in the area and its impact on the local healthcare system. Scott Watson, president of Mercy Carthage, discussed the strain on the local healthcare system caused by COVID and how some essential services are being pushed to their limit. The next board meeting is scheduled for Monday the 16th. At that time, the board will make a decision on whether or not masks will be mandatory or voluntary. Some area districts have decided to recommend masking in schools instead of making it a requirement. The Carl Junction School District is one of those districts. The district says they'll continue their other safety procedures like enhanced cleaning, social distancing when possible, and making sure kids follow proper hygiene. Jasper County Health Department hopes that most parents will decide to have their kids wear masks, despite whether masks are required. A Missouri judge says the state can no longer deny Medicaid health care to thousands more newly eligible adults. Missouri voters in 2020 approved the constitutional amendment, making more low-income adults eligible for the government health care program. But Governor Mike Parson refused to implement the amendment after the GOP legislature did not provide any funding. It remains unclear how the state will pay for health care for the newly eligible recipients. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Warm start, already got high 70s and low 80s out there, and we don't have sunrise until about 6:32. Heat advisory, 2 more days, so we can actually begin to transition to start counting down when the heat will finally pass us by. But at the same point, we're going to be back up into the mid-90s today. Yesterday happened to be the hottest day of the year. Got up to 97 as our first 97 of 2021. We're going to be right back up near there. I don't think we'll eclipse 97, but we'll be close with the south wind at 15 to 20 miles per hour. And then overnight, we'll still get some 20-mile-per-hour gusts out of the south, and very similar to what we've had past couple of days. Top left-hand corner of your screen for tonight into tomorrow. Get a little rain. It generates right there just on the other side of I-70. Tries to make a little southerly push. Not going to be widespread by any means. Could see just a little bit out to the north and west for our counties. And then we're going to be right back at it for one more day on Thursday. Now, while we're talking about heading into the weekend. At least by Thursday, probably 8 p.m., we can go ahead and lift that heat advisory. Even our overnight lows from Thursday into Friday really aren't going to make a difference. Friday's not going to be as hot. And we're finally going to get a little precipitation. It'll take us into the weekend where we can enjoy high 80s and even kind of roll that same trend into next week. And of course, you can always find the latest on the Skywatch weather app.
What the hail? Is your roof ready to withstand the 4-state area's crazy weather? For a new roof or a minor repair quote, call Glidewell Roof, 918-533-0761.
It's High Winds Casino's Hit the Trail Summer Giveaway, and August is all about off-roading. Be at High Winds on Saturday, August 14th, when you can win an Outlander PS 450 four-wheeler. And on Saturday, August 28th, how about a Can-Am Defender side-by-side? Each prize set up and ready to go by Pitbull Power Sports in Joplin. Earn entries now, and we'll see you on the 14th and the 28th. It's all part of High Winds Casino's Hit the Trail Summer Giveaway. Visit our Facebook or see highwindscasino.com for details.
Nothing feels quite as free as being out here.
Except this free soda.
Where'd you get free soda?
At Casey's, you can win all kinds of free stuff.
I love free.
Then you'll love this. Bought this jerky, won this free donut.
I love donuts.
And these chips can win me the big one.
What?
A free concert from country music superstar Lee Brice.
I love free Lee Brice.
With Casey's Summer of Freedom sweepstakes, the more you buy, the more you can win, including free Lee Brice concert tickets.
Free Lee!
No.
Color the flowers. That's just the whole place looks amazing. I love it.
It's perfect.
Sophia, whatever happens, we're here to protect you.
Thank you. There's no room for fear in your dream home policy from American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
Late summer and early fall are still the perfect time to add trees and shrubs to your landscape. Tony's Garden Center in Chanute has a great selection of beautiful bushes and trees, plus the products and advice to give them a good start. Tony's Garden Center, South Santa Fe in Chanute.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News and this Wildcat Wednesday. You know, you may not know this, but us Americans, we waste about 1/3 of the food that we purchase each and every year. So if we could find different ways to not only use it, but also to, perhaps more importantly, preserve it for future use, we could save ourselves a whole lot of money in the long run. And on this Wildcat Wednesday, that's why we're fortunate enough to be joined by one Holly Miner. Holly is the Nutrition, Food Safety, and Health Agent for the K-State Extension Wildcat District. Holly, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and I've been through a little bit of your planning before, but first off, why is it that we waste so much food?
Well, a lot of times we just get busy. Our lives are busy, and there's so many things going on that we just don't pay attention to when some of those best used by dates, or we don't look in our refrigerator to see what we have on hand, and time just gets away from us. So we just need to be a little more aware of that.
Well, time gets gotten away from us all because it's just about back to school time. And I know that kind of planning,
Yes.
you know, we talk about supplies and whatnot, but now food can actually be an integral part of helping us get through the school year, not only healthy, but also perhaps saving a little money as well.
That's right. You know, Julie talked last week in her session about planning when you get ready to go shopping for your back to school supplies. And we need to do the same thing when we get ready to go to the grocery store. We need to plan for those trips to the grocery store. We need to look in our pantry, see what we have in our pantry, and plan our menus off of that. And you know, you're getting ready to do some back to school shopping for clothes, but we're also getting ready to maybe provide some snacks, after school snacks, if your kids take lunch with them, all those kinds of things. And doing that planning ahead of time really makes it so that we stay on task when we're in the grocery store, and that we're not purchasing things that we really don't need or are not of the best nutritional value for our children or our family.
Now, speaking of nutritional value, I have to admit, I'm not one of those people that is completely going to read the back. But one of the things that I always look at, it's going to be a date on it. But you were telling me earlier that the date actually means something that I thought, I can't use it if it's past it. That's not true though, is it?
No, so the best by or the use by dates that are found on a lot of foods are dates that the manufacturers put on there to signify the quality of the food. So if we use foods by those dates or before those dates, then we're going to get the best nutritional value. If we use them after that date, they're able to be used if they're not spoiled or showing any signs of food spoilage or have anything growing on them or that kind of thing. But their quality, their nutritional value may be diminished after that date.
The good old sight and smell test gets us through everything right there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Another thing, a lot of us when we find ourselves, we're thinking about, oh, I'm on the way back home from work, I'll run past the grocery store. But you also advise people that's really not the best way to do it. It's kind of knowing the inventory that you have, right?
Yeah, so we need to look in our refrigerators and see if we can see things that we have in there that are good to eat, but hey, we need maybe one item to go with that to make a meal or to make a dish. And when we go shopping, when we're hungry, we're going to purchase more food that we really don't need to have. So we want to make sure that when we go shopping, we are looking at the foods in our refrigerators, in our pantries, and we're picking things that will accompany those to make a meal.
All right, Holly, I greatly appreciate all the planning and tips that you've given us, especially when it comes to that saving money standpoint. But I got some questions about food preservation. I'm up against a break. Can I con you into staying with us for another segment?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Holly Miner here with us on this Wildcat Wednesday. Holly's the Nutrition, Food Safety, and Health Agent out at the Wildcat District for the K-State Extension Office. So Holly, we're going to check back in with you in a bit, and we'll be back with more KOAM Morning News right after this.